Good morning, everyone. I've got a football team coming on stage with me. If you guys come through, it's my security detail. Not really. Guys, to warm you up, before we get into the speed round with these guys, I wanted to give you an update on what we're doing with our quantitative insight. You see, we got to the end of 2016 and we realised that we had a bucket load of primary research that showed if you applied Myzone to a member, you would increase their usage per month. Then we had this secondary research coming out of IHRSA that suggested that usage per month was a causal factor in retention. So if you add the two together, Myzone drives retention. What we hadn't done was take a step back and do a longitudinal study to prove the point. So that's what we're doing in Q1 of 2017. We're working with clubs all over the world to tag and observe members for the next 36 months. You see, what we're doing is we're breaking it into three groups, this cohort. Group one will be the control group. That will be a member that joined up in Q1, but they did not get a Myzone belt. Group two will be a group that joined up in Q1, and when they put their hand in a fishbowl, they won themselves a Myzone belt. And group three will be a group that joined up in Q1, put their hand in a fishbowl, and won a Myzone belt, but also some lottery mechanics. What I mean by that is that for every 100 MEPs they earn, they get one ticket into the raffle, and every month we give away $500. So we're using gamification to drive them. Now, because of our quant study so far, we kind of know the way it's going to fall. What we don't know is the distance between the surface area of these graphs. So if you have a look at it, the green line will probably be the group that have got the Myzone belt with the lottery mechanics on top of it. They'll have the most surface area under it. The next group will probably be the Myzone belt, and the group that will attrite the quickest or will erode the quickest will be the red line there, which is the control group. And what we'll be doing is reporting this on a monthly basis through our Operator Digest and also on LinkedIn, so that at the end of it, we can create an economic value from a retention perspective with the Myzone belt. Now, you've heard a lot of speakers this morning talk about social accountability. We've put a lot of effort into social accountability in the last 12 months. We believe that tracking effort and giving feedback and a sense of progress and a sense of achievement is motivating. But we believe if you layer over social accountability, that will amplify that motivation. And we've gone back and looked at the data over the last 12 months. Have a look at the bar graph on the left. This is the average Myzone user. They earn 1,831 MEPs per month. However, if you look at the bar graph on the right, those that have got greater than 4 connections will earn 41% more MEPs per month than the average, right? Because they're leaning in. 2,580. More interesting, if you receive more than 4 likes per month, you earn even more MEPs. You earn 84% more MEPs than the average. More interesting, if you give 4 likes, okay, you will work out at 101% more than the average. More interesting again, if you receive comments, okay, so that's someone coming onto my workout, onto the feed saying, "Well done, Emmett, you crushed it this morning. That picture of the beach looks awesome." If you receive a like, you will earn 132% more MEPs than the average. And more interesting again, if you give comments, you will earn 140% more MEPs than the average. Now, at this stage, that's just correlation. And for the rest of the year, we'll be diving into this data to really determine what the causal effects are. But the message out of the data at this point is this. If you can get a Myzone belt and you can wrap up a member in a Myzone belt, do one of two things. Either play a game with them, with game mechanics, or get them engaging socially. Better still, do both, and then the surface area under that line graph will grow and grow and grow. So with that said, we've only got a few minutes before we have to let you go out to the keynote. I'm going to be very concise with these guys. I won't give them big bios, but they're all here for, I've just realised how unequal it is with females. It really is a football team, isn't it? But I'll introduce them, and these guys are really good executors of Myzone, and there's a reason they're on the stage this morning. So we'll begin with, let me cross over, we'll begin with Dennis, who's one of the head honchos over at Omni Fight Club. Dennis has got a lot of big box experience, but right now he's focused on boutique fitness with Omni Fight Club. I looked through his numbers just yesterday, and it's phenomenal. They broke even in a matter of days, not months, which is a really interesting story. But Dennis, you do a great job with Myzone. How do your trainers apply Myzone mid-class?
Well, is this working?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good. You know what? We focus on recovery almost 90% of the time. We go through all of our classes are based on interval training, but we make sure that the trainers are talking about recovery through the whole thing, and we think that's important because it's the one result that we can control in the club. So nutrition and eating and all of that stuff happens at home, and we can't really control that. What we can control is what happens in the moment in the workouts, and so as the trainers go through that, it's critical that they push everybody back down into the recovery zones in order to make sure that they're maximizing the time in the club. Right. So each one of the trainers understands that if they're not pushing that controlled result, then we risk losing them to not getting results. And in our world, in the studio world, if they're not getting results, they're going to leave because of the pricing.
So between intervals, you're asking them to get the heart rate down?
Between every interval, the music, it drives our classes, so the music goes down. And the coaches begin immediately coaching everybody on breathing techniques and bringing the recovery down. And the members use the vernacular. They're looking for green bars. They understand the language. They use the language on social media, and they speak about it. So they wait, and they see, and they know they got to have 32 seconds for that to show on their graph. And they're constantly paying attention to it.
So this is post-workout you're talking?
Both, during the workout and post-workout. The post-workout, obviously, is the social side.
Okay, very good. So, and tell me, how do you use social post-workout to leverage Myzone?
We are huge on social media, so we do probably 2/3 of the members share their graphs, and we push them to do that because if they share on social media, our coaches respond to every single post. Every single post gets a comment, gets some feedback about how their graph looks, and that encourages them to share there, which obviously does us a big favor by getting more exposure for the club. But it's the members that push it socially. When they go on there and they use the right vernacular and the right language and they're talking about recovery and they're saying green bars and all of these things that you think are only going to be said amongst the training staff are being said on social media by members, that's when you're really going to get the penetration into people and exposure to people who have not come to the club.
And it's user-generated content for your social feed. It's not just promotion.
Yeah, it's a really spectacular process.
Very, very good. We'll jump over to RJ. RJ's here representing the high volume, low price category. The IHRSA clubs have got 24 facilities in their portfolio. And the reason I've got RJ up here is because he's changed the training play. It used to be that traditional selling one-on-one, but he's changed it and he's incorporated team training and Myzone, and the results are phenomenal. So RJ, can you talk the group through the new model?
Yeah, so is this working? Yeah, so in our 24 locations, we have opened 6 clubs in the last year. And so with that, we're running a different play where before, like he said, it was one-on-one training with some semi-private, maybe 2-4 groups, things like that. And so what we've added to it now is we continue to sell the one-on-one, but we also include team training, which is what you're seeing there, classes of up to 20 people, and then the Myzone belts. And that's all included in one package. We don't sell it a la carte. It's all or nothing, and we present it as one whole solution in our pricing presentation.
Got it. So it's a set menu. If you buy training, it's got one-on-one, it's got team, and it's got a Myzone belt. You don't make separate decisions. It's all part of one. And tell me, you shared some numbers with me the other day. Your conversion rates have flown through the roof. Can you share some of them, please?
Yeah, so our conversion rates in our clubs, because right now, like I said, we have 6 that are doing it, and then the other 18 that are not. In the 18 that we're not, we're averaging about a 7% conversion rate at the point of sale, and in our new clubs, we've doubled it. We're about 13.5%, 14%.
Yeah, got it. Very good. So from a, can we just flick to the next slide? I'm trying to hit it, and I can't. Got the security detail in my way. Great. So from an absolute number perspective, what does that mean? 7 to 15% is a big number, but how many extra training packs is that per month?
Yeah, so for us in each club, it can be anywhere from an extra 50 to an extra 75, even an extra 100 in some cases. Right. As far as just number of packs, it's a fairly largely increased for us.
Yeah, and when RJ and I were on the phone the other day, I sort of went through your pricing. You're selling 3 and 4 month packs, or
4 and 6 months.
4 and 6 month packs, and I did the numbers on it, and the midpoint was about $1,100 for a pack. It's 600 to 16. So if you look at an additional 70 members converting to an $1,100 pack, that number grows very quickly. Yeah. Thank you, RJ. All right, Richard. Richard's from New Zealand. Just excuse that for today, for the purposes of this. But he's got a lot of experience in, we'll go can we find Richard, please? There we go. He's got a lot of experience in Europe at high-end clubs, and now he's over here in North America. Spent some time in Canada with Midtown, and now he's down at head office. You're an excellent executor and have been for 3 or 4 years now, Richard. You've got 2 plays. One is Voltage and one is the member challenges. But let's just talk about Voltage. I was about to introduce it as paid programming, but it's not paid. Can you explain that?
Yeah, we've decided to present this as a retention play. So this is on our group exercise schedule. We didn't want to have a barrier to entry with this program. And this program is a tough program. And we coach it with Myzone. And speaking with Dennis before, I think we're very aligned in what we're thinking here is many programs say they're a high-intensity interval-based training program, and that's what all the research talks about. But in reality, they're a high-intensity steady-state program. They take your heart rate up, and then they beast you for 45 minutes with minimal recovery. But with Myzone, you can actually measure the recovery. And we've put that into the Voltage program, which is on our Group X schedule. We get classes of 50 to 60 people at the moment. It's a lot of gamification and play, and we celebrate the recovery. So, the measure of your fitness is not how high your heart rate gets, it's how quick you recover. And so you're seeing results week on week, and it's become measurable.
Yep.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely it does. So you're using this as a retention tool, not as extra yield.
Absolutely. I mean, we haven't put it on our paid team training program. This is on our group exercise program.
And does the Myzone belt come with it, or do you buy that as your buy
people come in
into
with
this
it. I mean,
program?
one of our clubs, for example, in Montreal has over 25% of the membership with a belt. We've got 1,400 belts in the club, so it's really come alive.
Yep. Thanks very much, Richard. Let's jump over to Tom for the moment. Tom is the marketing director at, let's go back one. There we go, at City Fitness in Philadelphia. Tom was the mastermind behind My City Moves in Philly last year. Ken, that's to take nothing away from you, sir. But Tom got a lot of success with it, a lot of interest, a lot of press. Tom, can you explain what My City Moves is? Because you're running another one at the moment.
Sure. So My City Moves is, to my knowledge, the world's first fitness technology and social media-driven fitness competition, where what we did was get as many Myzone belts as many people in Philadelphia as possible, and then tell a story around it, manage a competition citywide, and then just in a very aggressive and concerted PR outreach and user-generated content campaign, burned millions of calories, hundreds of thousands of MEPs, and ended up in the news a lot.
Yep. And so what is the goal of it?
So the goal of it is, on the operator side, I mean, it's a brand awareness play, 100%. What City Fitness gets to do is claim that we're changing Philadelphia from one of, what is stereotyped as the fattest cities in the United States into one of the fittest, because what we've done is get a whole bunch of Myzone belts on people and managed a competition that burns millions of calories. What the goal is from a community standpoint and from a fitness standpoint is just to engage a whole lot of people in simply working out because of how the Myzone technology works. We talked earlier about how there is this great in-club experience. You tile up on a screen, work with your instructors directly. That's great. But because it can all work in an app and you can work out remotely, your workouts track no matter wherever or however you work out. So we just kind of leveraged that to our own benefit and then burned last year 3.25 million calories as a city.
Got it. So your strategy was give away $10,000 and promote it through social influencers.
Absolutely, yeah. So like Emmett said, we put up some cash prizes, so $10,000, and then worked with what's called micro-influencers, so folks that are prominently featured in their own Instagram channels, whether they're fitness or positive lifestyle folks, and just get them to market on our behalf. And we get them to be a part of the story. Last year we worked with an NFL linebacker. This year we're working a little bit more on the micro level, focusing on the arts and the fitness scene. But yeah, they work with us to promote this message. Say City Fitness is giving away $10,000. All you have to do is work out and go nuts.
Great. And how many are registered so far? I know you're in the promotion
We
stage.
actually just finished. So last year we had 302 people registered. Good number, great numbers on the millions of calories side. This year we're getting the final couple of tallies in, but we have 950 people registered.
Okay, very, very good. And due to time, I'm just going to finish up with one more question, then I'm going to let you guys go. And Richard, I think you might be the best one to answer this. Getting staff on board is key.
Yeah, it is. Look, it's the most important part to having Myzone work in your clubs is giving that honeymoon period, I like to call it, that month before you launch with the members, getting it in the hands of your coaches and your trainers. Don't take for granted that your teachers and your coaches understand heart rate training, because to be honest, most of the time they fell asleep through that day at PT school. It's very true. So talking, it's got to be in their hands. They learn to play with it. They learn how to use it, because with any technology, there's going to be an adjustment period. Gamify it, have fun with it, but they really need to understand it. Now, there's the learning management tool.
Yep.
And Myzone have just introduced, which we have dropped onto what we call Midtown University, which is a platform we have for all our coaches, and it has all these educational pieces on there. Our coaches can't start on the floor until they've actually watched these videos.
Yep.
And it's important.
So you mandate that.
Absolutely.
Yep, very good. Guys, we are out of time. I could stand here all day asking questions. Thank you very much. I'll throw back to Emily to close us out.